Well, I didn't have much else to do, so I figured I'd do this. And this is not an interview or anything like that. Just to let you know. I plan on doing something like that. Hopefully, I don't know, next week, this week. I don't know. It depends on when people contact me. So, but this is just basically just to give your thoughts about it and my thoughts also. So we got Alexandria in here. I knew you were waiting because I checked it real quick. So so I'm just gonna wait till it shows three people in here already. I don't know where that. Oh, maybe it's just saying three chats have gone on. So, but yeah, we got Alexandria in here. I think the first one is actually the count. So I mean, I don't even know how. It's mostly at the idea stage right now, the interview. So, I even emailed Reckless Ben also. So I did that last night, I believe, or this morning, early this morning. I was modding for mail, but I left to get here. Well, thank you, but you didn't have to do that. There is another one going on where they're showing the video and all that, which I do have the videos. If it comes down to that. Um, I actually downloaded the videos. I'm able to download any YouTube video. So somebody else just came in here, probably one brick at a time. So yes, I do need mods in here just in case. I mean, being a small channel, I doubt anybody important or whatever's going to come in here. But I mean, it could happen, I guess. But I just want to kind of get to both sides of the story. And if they did come in here, then I would turn it into the interview thing. But like I said, that's just in the idea stage right now. But at first when I watched it, I was kind of like, oh, it's just a small little thing. It was no big deal. But I watched part one almost immediately. That was the first video I saw, and it got me thinking. You know, I used to live in Utah myself, and I got stories. Oh my God, I got stories. Who's this? We got Lord Starscream. We love Little L Brick, so thank you. Make sure you subscribe and like. Also, um, I'm not monetized. So I'm not getting paid to say, "Oh, big bricks and minifigs is great," or anything like that. I'm just kind of like I try to be very neutral. Um, I do have questions on both sides, like why did you do this or why did you do that. Um, I'm not an attorney, so kind of like a little disclaimer there. I'm not an attorney, though I have been told they thought I was an attorney one time. I was on the phone, whole different situation. In fact, I think it was in Utah actually that happened. I give that story too. It's a funny story. Had nothing to do with anything like this, but it wasn't like a crime or anything like that. But it was a funny story. But my first story, I actually lived in Utah way back in like from 1980 to 1998ish, somewhere around there. So I was there almost 20 years. And yes, I was Mormon. I'm not Mormon anymore. Um, that's a whole different story. I don't really like talking about it. So, but anyway, um, my dad lived there. In fact, me and my dad moved there when my grandparents moved there. So that's how we ended up there. We were living in California at the time. We were living in Garden Grove or Westminster. We were right on the line, so it kind of went back and forth. But yeah, and then we moved to Utah because friends of theirs moved there, so we just kind of followed them. But and I was like, I think it was in ninth grade, 10th grade, something like that, when I moved there. I loved the high school. High school was great there. But I actually graduated at Springville High School, where one of the high schools where Footloose was filmed. It's still there. From my understanding, it was being torn down, but thank God it wasn't. It was the original one that was actually in the movie, the main school, Payson High School, that got torn down. I think it was last year. It was either last year or year before. So anyway, I was married for the second time, and we were, for some reason, I can't remember what we were doing in Tooele, but we were in Tooele for some reason, or at least out that way, and got pulled over for a headlight. Headlight wasn't working. I had a little Ford Ranger, I believe it was, an '88 Ford Ranger, and I was selling the meat thing, if I remember right. I used to sell meat in the freezer and stuff like that out there. I did really good. I was doing really good, and I was honest about it and stuff like that. I didn't quit because I just started feeling weird about it. So we got pulled over for the headlight and got a fix-it ticket. No big deal, you know. And if I remember right, I literally fixed it right then and there. Got the ticket, went straight over to I think it was Checker Auto at the time. Got a new headlight, put it on. I mean, I literally within an hour it was done. Okay, and I went back because we were in Twilla anyways. Might as well do it now. You know, we were there. I didn't want to drive all the way back and say, "Oh, here's my ticket" and all that kind of stuff. So then I went to the city hall or police department, whatever it was. It's a tiny little place, and Twilla is west of Provo. It's quite a ways west of Provo, so it's kind of like out in the desert area type thing. And so anyway, there was an old lady there. I guess she was the receptionist or whatever. And I gave her the ticket. I gave her the proof that I had fixed it. She came out, looked at it. I had to turn the lights on. I mean, we went through the whole thing, and she signed it off. She had a little paper. She signed it off. It was done. Okay. About a year later, we're driving towards Twilla. I don't think we were going to Twilla, but we were driving towards that way, and I got pulled over again. And I thought, what did I do? I mean, I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything. And I don't even think we even had the freezer in the back, so we had no reason to be pulled over to even ask questions. Nothing. Guy walks up, the cop walks up, and I told him my name, gave him my ID, the whole ordeal. I asked him what this was about, and he said, "Well, you have a warrant for your arrest." Huh? My wife's freaking out. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And he says, "For a ticket in Twilla." I'm like, "You mean the fix-it ticket? Because that was taken care of." And he goes, "No, it wasn't taken care of." I'm like, so anyway, make a long story short, I got put in jail. Had to wait for court. They dragged it on for 2 weeks. And my wife at the time, while I was in jail, of course, you know how they all say, we're all innocent, I was actually innocent, just like he was in Shawshank Redemption. And so she started doing her own investigation because they didn't arrest her. Obviously, she had nothing to do with it. And one brick at a time just came in here. It sounds like I don't see. Oh, there she is. Hi, little L. Okay. And so anyway, I'm in jail, and during this time, she's parked out in the parking lot right outside my window. I don't know how she found out which one I was in because we had a window with bars on it. And I could look out there and I could see the car sitting down there. We didn't have the truck. And that's another thing. We didn't even have the truck anymore to even prove that it was taken care of. So that's what it was. We were driving our car that we had the second time around when they actually pulled us over. That's what it was. So anyway, I wasn't selling the meat anymore. And if it was with her trucks. But at the time, it was just, our own leisure. We were not working or anything like that. But during that time, that 2 weeks, she was sitting out there every night. She would sit in the parking lot. She had permission to sit out there, no problem, And one day I saw the car gone almost all day. I mean, it was gone almost all day. I didn't know what was going on. They kept saying, "Oh, you'll have court tomorrow," and then they drop it, and there's no court. They kept dragging it on and on and on. And all of a sudden, they come up. I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a bad jail. I mean, it was clean. It was I think it's Spanish Fork. Not to confuse that with American Fork. It's a whole different town. It's like further south of American Fork. And I mean, this is like 30 years ago. It's been a long time. And guy comes in, to the jail cell or whatever, and I had a roommate, and or another guy staying there, and he says, "We're going to be deporting you." I can't remember the word they used. It wasn't deporting, but it's the same thing, to Twilla. I was like, okay, then perfect. I could tell my story. Okay, for court is what he was claiming. It was for court. I was like, okay, let's go. I'm all up for that because I knew I had the proof. My wife at the time, she had the proof. And this whole time I hadn't seen my wife all day. I hadn't seen her outside, no phone calls, nothing. And I thought, oh great, they must have gotten to her or something like that, or told her she couldn't be there no more. That's the only thing I could think of. Okay. So we get there, you know. The guy actually didn't even put handcuffs on me. I think he put them on me on the way to the car, and then I was sitting. I can't remember if I was sitting in the back or in the passenger side, because he knew I wasn't a threat, and he took the handcuffs off. Okay, during the whole ride. When he finally got there, we pull up. He says, "I got to put the handcuffs on you." Otherwise, we'll walk up there. I was like, "Okay, that's fine." You know, it was all cool. The guy was really cool. Um, and he puts handcuffs on me. He lets me out, all the good stuff. And I noticed these like 2 or 3 sheriffs walking out all of a sudden out of the very front doors, the glass doors. They're walking out there, just standing there. And I'm thinking, oh great, now what are they going to do? Pull me in too? You know? We walk up, and a lady kind of steps forward. She goes, "What is he doing here?" And the guy's like, I'm paraphrasing, of course. He's like, he's here for court or whatever about, you know, the warrant for his arrest and all that. She's like, "Is this?" She said my name. He goes, "Yes." She goes, "Get those handcuffs off of me. He doesn't belong here." I'm like, my mouth has just dropped. You know, I'm like, huh? And he's like, "Why?" She's like, "He took care of that years ago, like last year." And I mean, they didn't do much explaining. He came over, he took the cuffs off, and I'm like, "What's going on?" So basically, they said, "You're free to go." Okay. I was afraid to leave because I was afraid, oh, this is just going to happen again, obviously. So I'm asking questions now because I'm free to ask questions. I mean, I was free to go. I'm all good, you know. So anyway, during this time, my car pulls up with my wife in it. I'm like, well, that was really good timing, you know. She pulled right up right after she said that, and I'm asking questions, and while I'm asking the questions, she turned the same sheriff lady turns around. She goes, "I won't be surprised if you sue." I was like, I wasn't even thinking about it until she said that. So um, I was I asked a few other simple questions and stuff like that. Coming to find out, the old lady forgot to put it in the computer. So they had no record that I even took care of in the first place. But there was paperwork. You know how that works, you know. Paperwork takes forever to find. Well, they found out that I had taken care of it. So I got in the car. First thing I turned around, she was driving. First thing I did is I sat down. I says, "I'm going to sue. I'm going to sue for wrongful arrest." You know. So I started getting hold of attorneys. Every attorney I got a hold of, the only thing they would say is, "You're not going to win against Utah government. There's no way you're going to win. So no, I'm not going to take it." I called probably about 3 or 4, and that's the reason why this gets to me so much is that the American Fork cops, with the stuff they did, he's not going to win. I don't care what you do, you know. In fact, one of the things that they had said, I think I called the police department too. They said, "Well, we had what do you call it? Oh God, there's a word for it. Basically, they thought I was guilty, so they had a right to arrest me." Okay, um, and because of that, it blocks them completely. They don't get sued for it. They had a reason to arrest me, you know, until I was proven innocent, basically. So I just ignored it. I was like, okay, fine. I can't sue. I'm not going to do anything about it. I let it go. Okay. I had some other situations happen that I don't really like talking about, but um, they were a lot worse than that. A lot worse. And involved family and stuff like that. And I was in jail for God knows how long for that. You know, waiting for court. Went to court and got dismissed. Got thrown out of court completely. Everything got thrown out of court completely. And this is all in Utah. And then I had the same thing happen in California and won. No problem, won. You know, in fact, not too long ago it happened to me too. About 10, 15 years ago, something similar to that. And we took care of the whole thing. Everything worked out perfectly. We were able to fight it. There, I couldn't fight it. It was you do this or else. That's it. That's exactly how it was. You know, and I don't really want to talk bad about Utah. I don't want to talk bad about anybody. But I was basically cornered there. There was nothing else I could do, and I lost everything. Literally lost everything. So So when somebody talks about the law there, I'm kind of like, oh God, no wonder, you know. So that's what I feel so bad about. But yet I still call Utah home. Springville home, anyways, where I lived. Springville, Utah. I call it home because I graduated high school there. My dad passed away there, not in Springville, but in that area. So I mean, it's still. I've had a few times I almost went there for high school reunions, and I, not going. In a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't. But I had no idea Bricks and Minifigs was in Utah, though. I think I had heard about it or seen it. I just kind of went one ear and out the other, you know. And I was told they're in Ogden, Utah. People are saying they're in Orem, but there's a branch there. I've seen the little house. There was a video of a lady. She went to it thinking it was the main one. It wasn't, but it was like the sign was peeling off and all that stuff. It's just like a little house, one of those little like what do you call those things? A tiny home type house thing. It had the logo on it and all that. I guess it's just a branch out there, but the main big building is in Ogden. So, in fact, they don't even have the whole building. They only have one side. That's the one that you see Reckless Ben going to. That's when he goes to, is the one in Ogden, because she showed the sign and well, she didn't go up to the office because she didn't want to get trespassed or something, but she showed the sign that said BAM Corporation or whatever it is. And it was the same exact one in the video. But and then she just kind of showed the grounds and stuff like that, stuff that you won't get in trouble for. But I'm never going to Utah. Oh, don't get me wrong. How would I say this? Most of the people are great. I mean, I've never had a problem with people themselves. It's the law that I've had the problem with. And businesses. Some of the businesses, they're kind of iffy. But if you just go in, do your thing, and leave, don't cause any trouble, you're fine. Okay? Now, as far as the land, the mountains, oh my God, the mountains, the land it's breathtaking. I mean, I live in Northern California. We got mountains here, or I call them hills, and people are always like, "Oh yeah, I love the mountains here." I'm like, these ain't mountains. These are the bumps in the road. You go to Utah or Colorado, that's mountains. I mean, I'm talking 10,000 feet above sea level or higher, and those are mountains. That is the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Here, it's just little hills. I mean, these are just bumps in the road. I mean, these are nothing compared to that. They look tall, but they're not as tall as they are, or as they look. But yeah, driving through, going wherever you want to go, that type of thing through there, it's great. It's just fine. Okay, they can't just pull you over for nothing. Yet they can do the if you don't live there, I will warn you one thing. If you're from California, watch out. They will pull you over for something. They will find something, but they usually will just let you go. Okay, well, like 99% of the time they'll let you go on a warning, because obviously you're not going to stay there. How are they going to get you, right? You think about that for a minute. But they do have a thing against Californians, especially if you're from California, which I am. I was born here in California. So that's one reason why I kind of had problems all the time. They knew that. They knew I was born in Hollywood and all that kind of thing, and though I didn't live there, or my mom didn't live there, parents didn't live there. They lived in Boynton Park at the time. But, because of that, but yet I was there for 20 years. I graduated high school there, the whole thing. As far as they were concerned, more or less, I was from Utah, but I never claimed to be. So anyway, that's how that happened. And then there was the funny one, the one which completely different situation altogether. I was telling you about how on my little disclaimer there that I'm not an attorney, though I've been told I sound like I'm an attorney, because I worked at a place in Wendover, Utah, which is in Utah technically. It's in Utah and I think it's Nevada too. Yeah, it's right there on the border. Okay, and I was working at a place there. It was a big company motel, and they had fired me because I was living at the motel at the same time. I guess they can't do that, and so they let me go, and by Utah law, since it was on the Utah side, I don't know about the Nevada law, but the Utah law says you have 24 hours if you fire somebody or terminate them. You have 24 hours to give them their severance pay, their past pay or whatever you want to call it. And I knew that. Okay. Well, when I asked them, where's my check? They says, oh, you got to wait till the next payday, which was 2 weeks later or something like that, almost 2 weeks, like a week and a half later. So I called up the main office and he says, I want my check now. And the guy is like, you're not going to get it till for 1.5 weeks. And I told him, Utah law says you have to give it to me within 24 hours. And I heard nothing there for about, it seemed like forever. All of a sudden he comes on and he goes, do you have an attorney there or something? I was like, no. He goes, your check will be ready in 5 minutes. And it was. I literally walked from there, well, after I got off the phone, to the upstairs where the office was, and the check was already there, ready, printed up, and everything. So, yeah, I was actually told that. I was like, no, I don't have an attorney here. I'm not an attorney. I just know the law. I mean, you got it. If you ever lived in Utah, you need to read up on laws. The laws are not the same as they are in California or Nevada or Colorado. Hopefully I didn't name anybody's states where you live, but I don't know if I did or not. But the laws are different there. And I did see one video, I don't know if I saved it or not, where a guy from Utah, a kid, probably like in his 20s, he brought a lot of points up that Utah law and Utahns don't really know what crime is, because it was very low on crime. I mean, I hardly ever saw anything going on there or even heard about anything. Once in a while you'd have something here and there, but it wasn't like LA or bigger cities where it's always something, and because they don't know what a criminal looks like, they could be a criminal themselves and not realize it. And maybe they do realize it, they just can hide it. Okay? And he makes a point there. That's exactly how it is. You don't know who the criminals are because they cover it up so easily, because nobody knows what a criminal looks like. Here, in California or other states, we know what criminals look like. Usually it's in the news like that. There, it takes them forever to even do anything. I mean, look at this. It's been 2 years. It took this long to actually start saying something about it. We've heard about it here and there, but it was like just a small thing, no big deal. Now it's like going crazy. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why. And then, I have a lot of questions, and I just thought, maybe I'll bring them up. Like for instance, like I said, I'm not an attorney, but I do know some things. For one, when he, and I think this has already been resolved anyways, when Ben had the one guy, I'm not going to show the video because I'm sure you guys have seen it hundreds of times. I've seen it now 1.5 times. I didn't watch the whole thing. I was watching it before this through another person that's doing the live right now. And it got to this point actually too. But he had a friend act like he was from UPS. And I think he went to the Bricks Minifigs. I can't remember if it was the original. I think it was the one that took over, actually. It was a manager. Started with A. I can't remember her name. I'm not very good with names. So anyway, the guy delivered a package to get her signature. Well, by Utah law, you have to tell them this is a contract to yada yada yada, whatever it's for. You can't just say, "Oh, please sign this." It's a package. You're signing for the package, because technically that's what you're signing. That's all you're signing. So it's not submissible in court at all. They couldn't say, "Oh, now you can't trespass us and owe us $5,000 and all this stuff," like you heard about the video, because it would just be, it's just dismissed right as soon as they signed it. It's actually fraud technically, because for one, he's infiltrating UPS. He's obviously not from UPS. It's not a real package. They never did say what was in the package, but if there was anything at all, and in that, I had heard, I don't know if it's true. I think it was on the police press release thing, that there was some ducks delivered the same kind of way to the Oregon one, and it was the same thing. They can't do anything, obviously. And I know it mentions it for 1 second, and then that's all it was. So obviously, it was just like, well, no big deal. It is a big deal. It's like saying, for example, in my situation, I'm a veteran. It's like me going out, not being a veteran at all, never been in the military, going out and telling everybody, I'm a veteran. Give me $10. Pay me for being a veteran. Or applying for benefits, for example, and being approved, or anything like that. It's the same thing, you know. It's a federal offense, you know. So I mean, that's why I don't get. I don't get why they're not pushing that, but maybe they just ignored it. I don't know. I mean, and that's not just Utah law. That's anywhere, you know. You can't just act like you're from somewhere and officially say, you know, have fake IDs saying that you're from UPS or whatever. You know, that's fraud right there. And she legally does not have to abide by whatever their contract was, because she has to be told, this is a contract that you're signing for this. Then she has to read it. And if she doesn't read it, that's true. Okay, what they said there. But because they said it was from UPS and all that, that's why she didn't read it, obviously. You know, otherwise she would have probably. So that's the other questions I have, is about why do you think that would have worked, or did it work? I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what or who to believe. I've been saying that forever. I think One Brick at a Time saw or heard me say that. But and that's one reason why I wanted to do the interview, is I actually changed the idea a little bit. Originally, I just wanted to get the one on, but now I'm wanting to get both on at the same time, with no arguments, no trolling or whatever in the chat. You know, with all respect to each other. Otherwise, that's why I need mods for it if I do it, if it does work out. And I'll be strict on that. They have to be respectful, you know, including in the chat. And if there is any, they're kicked. That's it, you know. So I mean, people can ask questions, and we'll give them a chance to at least explain what they meant if we misunderstood, you know. So I mean, because things can be misunderstood. In fact, I'll probably have a disclaimer on it. It might even start with the disclaimer at first. So before like right after my my little musical thing there, it'll probably have a disclaimer on there or something like that, because I want to get them both on here if I could, and just say, okay, you guys talk it out. I'm right here. You know, I'm like the mediator. I'm just the source, the video source, you know, or whatever you want to call it. And see if they're willing to do something like that. And then I also have a lawyer friend who I might be able to arrange to come on. She's not that kind of lawyer, but she can give advice. She can say, okay, well, you know, you did this, you did that. You need to watch out. You know, this isn't legal, and for you, this isn't legal. For you, this ain't going to hold in court. This part isn't going to hold. This might, but that might not. You know, but I have a feeling first thing she's going to say is, just get the Legos back. I think that's exactly what it's going to come down to when she comes on. You know, she's not going to represent anybody or anything like that. She's just going to be there as a lawyer to answer questions. From what she knows, she is an actual lawyer, so she can answer questions from the chat and stuff like that. Of course, I'd have to tell them what the chat is saying, but because I can't bring them up on the screen, so I have to just come out and say what they are, and they just kind of have to take my word for it, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, that's my thoughts about it. That's pretty much where I am. That's kind of why it bothers me so much. It doesn't really bother me a lot. It just kind of makes it's in the back of my mind going, well, what if the corporation Bricks Minifigs is guilty straight out? Okay, if they're guilty straight out, now what? What if Reckless Ben is guilty? Now what? You know, what's going to happen there? You know, the kind of thing. Yeah, I did want to mention there wasn't actually a YouTuber. I won't say who it is. And he did a video. I don't want to go into too much detail because it'll be obvious who I'm talking about. It was a big YouTuber. Did something about Bricks Minifigs also not too long ago, a few days ago, because he was concerned the same way I am. He kind of did the same thing, but not live. And towards the end, he actually comes out and he says, "I wonder if they're selling, or if they would sell it." And he says, "I think I." And he stops. He goes, "Yeah, I think I would buy the company." And he stops again. He goes, "Do I have the money for it yet? I think I do." He's like thinking out loud. It was so funny. I was like, "Dude, yes, you buy the company, and 100% it would be way better." Because he was saying he would just pay out the $200,000. He said, if I owned it, I would just give the guy the money, call it done, it's over. You know, we're good, and there's no trespassing. You drop everything, all this stuff. I think, yeah, do that. If it comes up for sale, if you could buy it, do it. And I even said that in chat too. I told him, I says, "Oh yeah, you got 100% support from everybody, I'm sure," because he's a very respected YouTuber and that. So I don't want to say who it is because I could be wrong about the situation, about what he said. I may be taking it wrong, but I wish you guys could see it. It was funny the way he did it at the end, saying that. It was just not funny as in ha 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 funny, but just how he's thinking out loud, you know, and actually saying what he's thinking. It's that's the funny part. So I just thought it was kind of funny, but you guys have to find out on your own. But it is out there. It is one of the main big YouTube channels, Lego YouTube channels. It's actual Lego YouTube channel. It's not Brixie, I'll tell you that right now. But it's another one sort of like him. So anyway, all right. I haven't seen anybody chat much after Alexandra says that she's not ever going to Utah. Yeah, if you went to Utah for the mountains or something like that, or for one of the national parks there, oh my God, it takes your breath away. The land, the country out there is just amazing. I mean, you go to Colorado, it's pretty similar. Colorado, Wyoming, it's all pretty much the same there. Idaho, a little bit less mountains there because it's more further north. Mountains are a little bit smaller there. They're just trying. They start to taper off in Idaho, if I remember right. Montana, and Montana is a lot like Utah. Utah is a lot like Montana. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's very similar to that. But Utah is famous for the Red Mountains. Those are what are so. They're really weird. Even the roads are made of red. So a lot of the roads out in southern Utah are red because they use that rock. So it's really weird driving on it too. But like Moab, you go to Zion's National Park, the rock formations out there are, I used to go out there almost once a week, if not more, just because I was going out to Moab a lot for work and stuff. But and then St. George, which is the furthest south you can get. And of course Salt Lake. I mean, Salt Lake, it's like LA. Salt Lake is exactly like LA. It's just as busy as LA. You got further north too than that. There's a music park out there called Lagoon. I used to get in there for $6. I remember those days in the '80s. $6 for one whole day there. Now it's like $600 or something. Probably, I'm being sarcastic, but yeah, it's a lot to get in there now. But it was like Magic Mountain. In fact, I think it was owned back then. It was owned by Magic Mountain, by Six Flags. It was Six Flags Lagoon, and they used to have specials where me and my first wife, we went there one time. I think it was for our honeymoon or whatever you want to call it. And they had it where you can bring in a Coke can, and with the Coke can you get an extra day free. Okay, you get them for $6, and you get a free day, and you don't have to like stay there. You can leave and come back for that free day within, like, I think it's like 3 years or something like that. It had like no expiration on it whatsoever. Well, because that Coke can, and they didn't say you couldn't reuse it either. We went there one time. We paid the $6 with the Coke can, and each person has to have their Coke can. Okay, we went in there with some friends. Like there was like 2 or 3 friends with us too. We all had a Coke can each. We all paid $6 to get in, spent the whole day, yada yada yada, you know, and left. Well, the promotion was still going after we were done that day. So we went and got another Coke can. This is the funny part. We got another Coke can with the same promotion on it. Went there again the next day for our free day with the Coke can. And we got another free day, even though we technically did not pay for that day. And we kept doing that over. It kept looping over and over and over and over. We went for like a full week for free. Absolutely free, except for, of course, we played games and stuff like that. And the rides they're all included they were all included in the thing. In fact, I think they even had the swimming at the time too, where, you know, the slides and all that. It included all that. So we got like a full week for $6, and that was it. It was so funny. Of course, they stopped that when they start to realize we weren't the only ones doing that. But they start doing, you know, a disclaimer where you can only use it once. You can't conjoin another can with another can's free day or whatever. You know, they stopped all that. But we went for like a full week before we just got tired of going. You know, it was the funniest thing. But yeah, I won a lot of stuffies back then when I did that. Me and another friend would go out there once in a while too, like a different year or something. They did it like once a year during the summer. They would do the Coke can promotion, and we would go out. We would go there and stuff like that. Me and a friend of mine, just for that reason, to play the games out there, because we knew how to win them all. We had little tricks on them winning, but we'd get these big, gigantic bears like this big, you know. We'd win all those for like next to nothing. So I don't know if I think they're still there, but I don't even know if it's even called Lagoon anymore. I think it is. But my high school reunion, my next one is supposed to be in 2029, I believe. I think it's 29. Yeah, it'll be my 45th high school reunion. And then 34 will be my 50th high school reunion. So, yeah, I graduated in 84, so I don't know. They usually do it about every 5 years. I want to go, but I don't want to go by myself. So my wife doesn't want to go. She's afraid to go to Utah, just like Alexander, like you said, you know. And like I said, you stay to yourself. You go there, stay in a motel. Motels are fine, you know. I would not suggest staying in like a private motel, like a mom and pop. I would stay somewhere like Motel 6, Days Inn, or Holiday Inn, or, you know, one of those big companies like that, you know, where they actually have a corporation elsewhere, you know. That's what we were going to do, or would do. And then and I would just to stay out of trouble, just obey the normal traffic laws, and you're fine. You know, traffic laws are the same. I think actually some laws are actually a little better than California. I don't think you could turn on red though. Here you could turn on red. You could turn right on red so long as it's the same direction. You know, but there I think you have to stop on all red no matter if you're turning or not. No matter which direction you're turning, obviously. But here in California you can. There's a few little things like that that are different, but nothing. It's all common sense as far as the traffic laws are concerned. I mean, they still have the normal thing if you don't stop at a stop sign. But yeah, they will try to get you though a lot easier, especially if you have a California license plate. You know, if they see a California license plate, they're going to follow you everywhere. And there is a law out there that says if they follow you more than a mile and a half, they can't do a thing to you anymore. So, as long as they're not pulling you over within that mile and a half, I don't know if that law still goes, but as far as I know, it still is. So if they're following you for a mile and a half, at that point they have to either turn off and leave, or pull you over, one of the two, and they have to have a good reason for it. But if they pull you over after that mile and a half, there's no legitimacy anymore. You can get out of it. It's one reason why I've gotten out of all the tickets I've ever had there. I don't think I've ever paid a fine there in my life. I may have paid one where I was speeding and I realized I was, and I admitted to it. So it wasn't that much back then. It was when I was in the military. But I didn't know where I was going. Of course, I was speeding, trying to figure out where the heck I was going. I was in a hurry to get out of wherever I was because it was dark and I couldn't see where I was, and I was just lost. So, like for instance, I had one And of course, it wasn't even me, anyways. But I was young. I was probably about, God, I must have been about 18, 20, 21, somewhere around there. I was delivering pizza. I was working for a pizza place in Springville, and I was delivering a pizza one time. I was going down one of the main roads, or no, I wasn't going down the main. I was stopped at the main road at the corner. Okay, and I saw this car off the main road. It wasn't like a highway like that. It was one of the bigger roads. I think it was 400 East, if I remember right, or something like that. If anybody lives there, they know what I'm talking about, in Springville. And he's just zooming. I mean, this guy was probably going 50, 60 miles an hour, and it's 25 there, 25 or 30. And I was like, what the heck? I looked, of course I looked again. There was nothing anywhere. No, nobody behind him like that. So I turned, right, like I was intending to do. And I wasn't even half a block, and a cop gets behind me with his lights on. I'm like, what the hell did I do here? I know I stopped. Because I was stopped there because obviously that one car went by, and I was stopped there going, what the heck, So I was pausing there for quite a while. And so I pulled over, and he comes up, cop walks up, he's got a cowboy hat or whatever you call those things, and everything, And he says, going a little fast, ain't you? I'm like, I look at him, I look at the stop sign, because I can still see the stop sign. Stop sign's right there behind me. I look at that, and I'm like, I just left that stop sign. And he kind of looks over there. He's like, you did? I says, yeah. Did I not stop at the stop sign? Because I know I stopped. And he goes, no, you were going like 80 miles an hour up 400 East. I'm like, I literally just stopped right there, and turned. And then it occurred to me, wait a minute. One guy was going, and I told him, I says, there was a car that went in front of me and was probably going at least that fast. And he stops for me and goes, oh, I think, and he actually apologized. Can you believe that? He actually says, I must have gotten the wrong person. He says, I'm sorry, I apologize. Obviously, it wasn't you. So people do say they don't do that. He did do that. And I told him, thank you, all that stuff. And it was forgotten. He let me go. And he said, have a nice day, stay safe. He did notice I was delivering pizza too. He goes, delivering pizza, huh? I said, yeah. I mean, after he said, you're free to go or whatever, we started just talking, gabbing or whatever about the pizza and stuff like that. So, I mean, he was cool about it. He wasn't mean. He wasn't saying, oh, it was you, like people claim they do, And he, went his way, I went my way. He didn't follow me anyway. In fact, he turned around, and went off the other direction. So, and I finished delivering my pizza, which thank God wasn't late, because we used to give them out free if they were late. It was probably maybe 5 minutes. I wasn't even there 5 minutes before he let me go and everything, and I was talking. So it's just, yeah. So I've been pulled over and proved right straight then and there it wasn't me. It does happen. So if you can, if you go there and that just happened. I had never had it happen since then. That was the only time that's ever happened. So I hardly ever got pulled over except for the one in Twilla and that time. I think that was the only two times, and I got pulled over in, God, I was somewhere in Salt Lake. The one I was telling you about, it was when it was dark, um, it was out in the middle of nowhere, and I can't remember if they let me go or if there was a ticket or not. I think there was a speeding ticket, but it wasn't very much. If I remember right, they dropped it because it was like no point in it. It was like a $5 ticket. I mean, it was like, wasn't even worth it to them. So they dropped that too. But anyway, that's this kind of stuff that happened to me in Utah. But that was one of the reasons why I left. Mainly because of that big thing that happened to me in Utah, and because of the thing in Twilla. I just was like, because those were the last things that happened to me. All the other stuff was way before that, and I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done. And where did I go to from there? I think we lived in Springville. My second wife and I lived in Springville again. And one day we just said, let's just pack up and go. We went to, Windover. No, it was Mesquite, Nevada. That's right. It was Mesquite, Nevada, which is just outside of the Utah border itself. Actually, I think it's the Arizona, Nevada. We went there, and that's where the motel was. I was telling you about. It was in Mesquite, Nevada, not Windover, Mesquite. and the one where they would give my check. That was in Mesquite, Nevada, and we were there for probably about, God, it seemed like 6 months, maybe longer. And then we actually walked because we ended up selling the car we had. Same car I was driving to Tooele that day. We ended up selling that to a race car driver, and we walked from there to Victorville. My mom lived in Riverside, which is not too far from Victorville. We were actually going to walk all the way, but we walked all the way and got to Victorville, went to a gas station, and we were starving. And I think, if I remember right, I walked in there to buy a candy bar because it was all we could afford at the time. And it was like a little truck stop out there. I remember it was a Chevron, and the manager there saw us, and we walked outside. He came outside and stopped us. He goes, "Hey, and, I mean, you got to imagine we're red. We've been walking for 3 weeks through the San Bernardino Mountains and all that stuff, and we're sunburned like you wouldn't believe. Of course, we didn't realize we were, but we were. The way we did that, we would sleep during the day and go out at night, but we would still get burned, you know. So we had a tent and everything. So he came out and he says, "Are you guys like homeless or what?" I explained to him, "We're going to Riverside where my mom lives." And he goes, "Come on in here for a minute." He came in. He goes, "You guys get something to eat, whatever you want, anything, as much as you want, whatever you want." And so, me and her got a sandwich. I think we got a soda each, and that was about all we got. We didn't like take advantage of it or anything like that. And he goes, "Tell you what, I'm going to send one of my employees to take you to Riverside. Going to drive you to Riverside. Though they do have to wait till they're off. It's one that was working there at the time and everything." So he actually paid the guy to take us to my mom's, which we did arrive. I think we left at 10 o'clock that night when the kid got off and they closed down. And they had like this little area we could sit with like an awning type thing going over it and all that. Because like I said, it was a truck stop, or looked like a truck stop. So we just sat in there or whatever. We didn't have a car or anything like that. We were walking the whole time and trying to thumb it, and nobody would pick us up. So he drove us all the way to Riverside, about 30 miles one way, and which I thought was kind of cool. That's how we got there. And then my mom ended up having an eviction, so we had to all leave, and we moved away and decided to go to Las Vegas. So we moved to Las Vegas at that time, and we stayed with my mom for a while there when she did that. And then me and my wife at the time separated. My mom went and took back. I don't know if she went back to Riverside. I don't know the whole story anymore between that and when we saw her again. But we ended up staying in Nevada and working up in the one of the resorts up there in the mountains at the lake. So we were up there about a year or so, and then my now ex-wife leaving me at the time for some stupid reason. I don't know what was going on there, but she left, claiming she was going to be back. She never came back. She just left and never came back. Haven't seen her since. I talked to her on Facebook before, and then so divorce was filed and all that stuff, and I ended up from there going to, where did I go after that? Susanville. I ended up in Susanville after that, and that's where I met my oldest daughter's mom. We had Pam's daughter and all that stuff years later and whatever. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it all worked out. So I never went back to Utah. I did go back to Utah in 2005 to see my dad, and oh my God, it was way different then. It was way bigger. When I was there, it was small. Towns were small. There was hardly anything there. It was all open land. But when we came back, Springville was developed, and I was like, "What the heck? There's a Walmart here. There was this and that." Surprised the heck out of us. It was with my third wife then, and my daughter, first daughter with her, was born. She was only like 5 months old when we went there and saw my dad, let him see his granddaughter and stuff like that. So we went and saw all family. Went and saw my dad, and we went and saw my mom. So we saw my mom again. Drove out there, went to Knott's Berry Farm and everything. And then I can't remember which order we did. I think we went to see my dad first or my mom first. I can't remember which way we did it. But we just basically made a circle and came home. And we were here where I live now, same town, same area. So yeah, it was fun, and we didn't have any problems there. Now my second wife, like I said, we did go out. We did go out to Utah once in a while to sell, because I was doing the meat thing. But we weren't out there more than maybe, a couple days, maybe, that kind of thing. Or no, actually, we went from there to California to see my mom. Is what it was, to sell, and then came back. But I think once I moved out in '98, the Las Vegas thing, I don't think we ever went back again, except for 2005 when I went and saw my dad. We were there. I think we were there a week. If I remember right, it was during the July 4th or something around there. I think it was sometime in July, beginning of July or so. So I remember the fireworks. And boy, they do a lot of things for holidays. When they do holidays, they go all out. Oh my God, they go all out. So there are good things in Utah. I mean, nothing's perfect. So anyway, if anybody wants to talk about on chat, the panel is open, by the way. If you want to come up on the panel, you can give us your thoughts too. Just be respectful, even though they're not here or anything like that. Unless they are, and I just don't know it. So, maybe you know something I don't know. You never know. I mean, it just seems like to me like a lot of this stuff is hearsay. I mean, that's just my side of it, though. Doesn't mean it is, doesn't mean it isn't. But it just seems like a lot of stuff is hearsay. Somebody else came in here. I wonder who that is. We got one brick at a time in Alexandria, but who's the third? Make yourself known. So just kind of sitting here waiting to see if anybody speaks up. If anyone wants to see the video again, I can't play them. Just let me know in chat. Haven't had anything on chat for the last, God, it's been a while. Hopefully I'm still alive. You guys still hear me and everything, or are you guys just kind of lurking? I mean, the numbers keep going up and everything like that, but I'm going to check to make sure I'm still alive. There's another one too, it looks like. Minecraft is live. Yeah, it says I'm still live. In fact, mine is right after the second part of the Reckless Ben one. I mean, it's Reckless Ben and me. I mean, literally, it's just like that. Now on there it doesn't say I'm live, but on the other ones it did. There I am. Numbers the same. Yeah, this isn't live, so even there I was right above his. Yeah, it shows I'm still live, so. And now it shows I got 4 in here. I hope chat isn't stopped for some reason. Get this over here. Let me see if I can bring up chat this way. Done this to me before. Chat didn't work for some stupid reason. Now views. Let's see. No, this shows I only got 19. Live viewers 4, yeah, that's right. The actual view thing is off by quite a bit. Viewers 4, yeah, that's right. Let me pause that. I don't need to. Oh, there we go. It said this is going on. All right. So, okay, that just came in. Okay, so you can't hear me, I guess. The chat is still working. I don't like myself. There. Yeah, it says 2 watching. Okay. Well, now it says 4 there. Why does it say 2 watching if there's 4 on my number? Or 3 on my number? Yeah, that's right. There's a delay. And from my understanding, it's going to be another 2 years before any mistaken has been acting up. Okay. I heard it's going to be another 2 years before it's even resolved at all through courts. 2 years. Yes, they're going to drag it on. That's what they were saying before. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of views here. It's just the YouTube one is saying there's only 19 right now. This one says 28. So maybe there's a delay there too. I don't know. Been on for an hour now, going on and on about it. But yeah. If anybody else has anything to say, feel free to tone in. You see 28, okay. That's what it says up on my little thing too. It should match, or at least be pretty close. And yeah, it said two watching, so that's where it is now. Just takes it a minute to catch up. But yeah, that's where I am. I don't know what to say about the video or about what the CEO said, but I just kind of want to keep that neutral because I want to try to do that interview between them. But I don't know if I'll be able to get to Laura though. She's really hard to get hold of. So, like I said, she's not even that kind of lawyer. She's not a civil lawyer. Well, she's civil, but not that kind of civil lawyer. I guess it has to be specific. I did buy a dollar store set also, a brick set. I could build that if anybody wants to. The little Jeep that was kind of like a Sarge, so I thought I'd get that and build it. I've been kind of holding on to it. I made my own instructions for it too, because the instructions were like really small. I'll show you which one it is. It's happened right there. That's the box. I actually scanned the box to do that. So I don't know if you want us to see me build that or not right now. I'm just afraid I won't see the chat, or because I don't watch the chat too much when I'm doing that. Oh, that's cute. I thought about making it into Sarge too. Just taking off the black roll bars, changing it into Sarge. Put a cover on it and all that. It's only 6 wide though. It's pretty small. I don't know how long it would take me to build it. It took me about an hour on Studio. Because to make these, you have to actually build it in Studio to be able to make the instructions. See that? Not the right color, but that was the closest thing I could find. And I made it exactly like the original instructions. Trimmed them in the same way and all that kind of thing. Though it didn't match up very well in places, but hopefully it will for real. But I got the box there, so it's like 3 bags, I think. Better be better with the eyes, huh? Yeah, that's why I like this one. It's just a tiny piece of paper. That's all it was. Tiny piece of paper, and they were like black and white going through it. So that's why I converted it to this. In fact, let me turn on the camera up there too. There's the camera. It's off camera. It's right there, very bottom right corner in our perspective. Sitting there right below the monitor there. boxes. Yeah, still show two people. But yeah, I could play the videos. I mean, I don't really want to, but I could play them. I have both the first one and the second one. I have both of them. They're downloaded, so it's actually coming off my computer if I did play them. But I prefer to kind of do it when I'm talking to them or something like that. If we need to or want to, or because that way they can say, yeah, go ahead and play it. I don't, no worries, you know. I don't want to get copyrighted, you know. You never know. Although I don't think he's going to want me to play it while the CEO is watching either. So, I don't know. Because we might have to refer to it here and there. Well, what about this? What about that? You know, kind of thing. I mean, I don't really want to do that, but I mostly want them to talk. And we're just being the mediators, you know, to keep the peace, I guess you'd say. Because all I have to do is just, I was to say flip them off, but I meant the switch, flip the switch off up here, and it just cuts them off. You know, you don't see them, don't hear them, nothing. Well, I would hear them, but nobody else would. So if they start arguing, all I have to do is just boom, off. They're still there, but the audience wouldn't see or hear them anymore. That's all I would have to do. So if they want to be heard, they would have to, you know, keep peace, not argue, that kind of thing. Was kind of, I think I had more like two ideas. I had that one, and I also had the one where they could tell their side of the story, which is probably how I'll start anyways. Each one will tell their side of the story. I don't even know how Ben is involved. I don't really understand why he's involved, because it's that Brian guy. It should be him doing this thing, but I can see how he kind of hired the YouTuber, Ben, Reckless Ben, to kind of handle it all. But I notice Reckless Ben is always saying, I have my Lego here. It's not actually his. It's a friend of his. And he only said that once. He says, I have a friend's Lego here. Every other time he's always saying, my Lego is here. My Lego is here. Well, it's not his Lego. He's not the owner of the Lego. So that's where I'm kind of confused too, is I don't think you could legally say that. So upsetting. Yeah, it has. To the Lego community, it has. And then the arrests and all that stuff. That's what I kind of expected that. So when I saw that one, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I knew they'd do that. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. You know, because I just know how they are there. You know. I mean, the harassing part, I don't think they were really harassing, because everything they were doing was across the street. Yeah, putting up posters and things like that, yeah, that could be considered harassing. I mean, it's a thin line, you know. There's a lot of technicalities in it, you know. Technically they're harassing, but technically they're not harassing, if that makes sense. But if you're across the street and you're doing something else, you're not like sitting there staring at them, you're doing your thing, there's not really nothing they could do about it. You're not on the property, because even the cop said you have been trespassed from the property, not from across the street, not from a block away, you know, not from the next stop sign up in the corner. You were trespassed from the property, and the sidewalk does not count. Sidewalk is not owned by the owner, so it's not property, it's public. You know, it would have to be a whole different trespassing thing, and it would be the city trespassing them on the sidewalk. So, and that would have to be very specific, I would think, on the sidewalk from this corner to that corner at this block. Okay. And I've never heard of them do that, but I suppose that's how it would work if they wanted to do that. Which I'm surprised they haven't. But now they're saying, oh yeah, you were across the street or you're a block away, you were trespassed. They were never on the property after that. Never went there whatsoever. And technicality, yeah, they could send a friend over there. That friend is not trespassed. Technically, they can't send their friend over there to do the deed or do whatever they're doing. You know, it's called a mediator. That's what it's called. They can't send a mediator by law, even if you're still being sent for trespassing. But the mediator falls over the same thing. They cannot be harassing. They cannot be doing anything like that. This stupid thing. Somebody keeps messaging me on Messenger. Probably my wife. Yeah. Oh, my daughter too. She keeps sending me ads on that. I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, I know about the full moon. There's supposed to be a full moon tonight, or blue moon tonight. So I do know, harassing. It's very technical as far as harassing is concerned. And the harassing law in Utah is different than is, the other states. Some are more strict, but harassment falls under stalking too, though. So technically, yeah, across the street, I think it's 3 times. If you're at the same place 3 times, they can call it stalking in Utah. I don't know about any other state though. Or if you're following them around. What?
1426.
What do you need that for? I know.
No, they won tonight.
Oh, you already won?
It was the 12:30 game.
It's already over.
Pen.
I don't have a pen.
The one that I've been using.
What's this one?
Yeah.
Let's talk about a game that they had today. There was a live yesterday, a couple of days ago, with the CEO on. That's why I got the idea for mine. But we didn't really answer any questions at all, really. Neil Wolf, hello. Just kind of leave it open for anybody to talk about the bricks and Minifigs thing there. So if anybody wants to say anything, you can. Just keep it respectful, that's all.
Next game, Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Against the Humboldt Eagles. They struck out this weekend. Home opening week?
Or if you heard what I said earlier, I've been explaining it to me, I guess. Because, I mean, I'm sure there's other videos out there I haven't seen. So I could be wrong about everything. I haven't seen much of anything. I've been watching a lot of third-party videos, more or less, like mine is. So they just keep playing the same thing over and over again, the same video. I do have the second video. What? You want to go out party, don't you? Can't go right now.
But I did send you some stuff. Our sky, the sky.
I know I saw a blue moon.
I can't not wait. We had to face east, which is
That way.
just
Away from the
after
ocean.
sunset.
It's away from the ocean.
And then
It was orange last night, or this morning. This morning it was orange. The moon was up when the sun was up.
Oh, it does that.
The moon was orange. It was really down low.
It says just to go after sunset, but before dark. So
It'll be that before I even get off. Unless I get off by 8. It might be there now.
no, it's not. It says just after sunset, and then before dark, and then tonight there's going to be a meteor shower too to follow along.
It'll be cloudy. It always is here. You know.
No clouds tonight. It's going to be clear.
I have that RME truck. Oh, you
Right.
do?
How is it catching you on fire?
Yeah, I just don't want to miss Chad. That's why I'm kind of afraid to build it. Because if somebody comes on and asks me something about the bricks Minifigs thing, or even clears something up, then I want to be able to know that you said that when you say it, not 10 minutes later, you know, when you're already gone. Yeah, I was actually going to get 3 of them, but I didn't have the money for it. They're $5 a piece here. Yeah, they charge a lot more here than anywhere else. It's a legitimate company too. I think even Walmart sells this brand, but I can't remember. There was something similar to it at least. Yeah, I was looking at the pieces when I was doing the studio. All the pieces matched up with Lego. They were exactly the same.
What's for dinner?
I don't know yet.
You don't have much money for us to go to the store to get food,
No.
so we're basically very starved.
Well, we're supposed to drop this right now? Oh, better throw you alive. You come in here wanting something.
I'm in there bored.
You're not the only one. Okay, what is that timer?
Well,
It's
was
1
trying
hour,
to
12 minutes.
go-
God, for a minute I thought it started over again. I thought it said 12 minutes. I'm like, what the heck? Should be starting again.
I was going to do a live with, the news from last Sunday.
Yeah?
But I don't know. I want to get permission from her first.
Well, she said she didn't want to post it, so.
It's already posted all over Facebook and TikTok and everything.
Well, she probably wants to post it herself. She doesn't want somebody else posting it. That's what she's saying.
She doesn't
No,
post on her YouTube.
not YouTube. I
It's
said
already posted all
Facebook,
over everywhere.
whatever it is. God, I wish this thing would do this differently. Maybe I can put it up like that. Maybe it'll work better. I wish it would actually turn on there, like turn back and forth. Maybe I can arrange something where we'll do that. In fact, I know I can. I have a little adapter that might do that if I have it anywhere. It actually turns. Yeah, see, there's the box. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring it up over there so you guys can actually see it. There we go. There's the box. Yeah, so it has three books. Well, that includes Minifig too. I'm not gonna bother with Minifig. There's the actual book. Like I said, it's black and white. Well, mostly black and white. At the very end is color, but the rest of it's black and white. So I just made my own based on that one. Not much to this thing, though. This here. I forgot my scissors. They separate the small from the big, though. What the heck? Her and her hair. Small ones in there. I don't have any more of those. Actually, I'm just gonna dump them in there. Screw it. I don't care. I just don't want to lose anything. What is it? Little icon. I recognize that. These are actually rubber too. I don't think Lego ones like these are rubber tires. Kind of mumbling there. Rumble, rumble. All this stuff together here. Stuff I know goes together. That doesn't seem to match up. It's bigger than that is. Wow, don't think that's actually going to fit in there. That is way too big. Oh, there it goes. That side snapped in. Yeah, that side snapped in. That looks like it's more permanent than anything else. Alright, yeah, there's not much big pieces in this at all. I noticed that when I built it too. There's a lot of small pieces in it. I'm tired. Good night. Have a great stream. Thank you. Got that. You don't smell that tough. Glasses do. Okay. There's the fork. Force it back. Sit on the studs, but it doesn't say anything. I'll check it did here for a minute. That ain't working. That's not picking me up very well. Let's see if I can put it down like that. There we go. Alright, scroll this down. The same size of poly bag, so it's not too bad, I guess. Okay, we got that. This is why I don't get all these little tiny 1x1s. They got tons of them in this thing. Why don't they use 2x2s? That's why I didn't get. Or 2x1s, 1x2s. To the black. Let me flip it around. Goes that way. Got the little steering wheel wherever it is. It's so funny how they always have everything separate. Okay, that goes right there, I think. Yeah. Like that. Oh, see, they only have a 4 here. It's all the little ones, all lined up. Oh, wow, a whole bunch of 1x1s lined up. Why do they do that? Why isn't it a 1x4 instead? Wouldn't that be much easier? So I converted this to Sheriff. Not Sheriff, I mean like a mini version of Sarge. I would change all that. It wouldn't be like an instruction book or anything like that. I'd sell anything like that, but just for me, just for the heck of it, just to see if it could be done, is what it would be. Wow, that one's really tight on there. I mean, there's got to be a way to convert this to Sarge. But you'd have to use some Lego, though. Oh, those are in there. That's weird. Oh, so what, that goes up one? Oh, wait. Turn it around. It's on this side. I guess it go like that. And this one goes down one. Probably cheaper, yeah. It would definitely be cheaper. It'd be smaller though. It'd still be in scale. He'd just be a little smaller. Which I guess the Jeeps are pretty small anyway. I was thinking about doing a version like this instead. Or also like a six stud version. But they don't allow you to like rebuild and do the instructions on there, so I could do it for free, but you know, free instructions, but couldn't charge for the instructions. I think I could charge for the instructions for the roof though, for the part that's actually Lego, you know, like do it as a separate thing. Like a conversion, which wouldn't be that hard. You won't have to remove anything. You could build the whole thing and you just add that to it, I would think. It'd just be a couple of plates, is all it really would be. It wouldn't be all that hard to figure out. I remember when these were $1.25. Wasn't even that long ago either. Oh God, these are hard to get on there. I feel like the smaller it is, the tighter they are. You know? Smaller brick it is. Almost doesn't go over the stud half the time. Okay, a bunch of more ones. Somebody's saying something outside. Go. Got a lot of this. A lot of stacking one by ones. Like I said, I think they only did that to get the piece count up to like 200 or whatever it is. It says. It's always probably be down to like 100 and something. See, now this I didn't know what color things were, so I had to kind of guess. It goes there, it goes there. It looks like it goes up here like that. It was hard to tell what color anything was when it was black and white. Guess these are orange. Guess all of it's orange. I would think these would be red. One's red and yellow, or orange and yellow is what it is. And we got that little crossbow thing. I don't know what this is for at all. Maybe it's supposed to be for the tow thing, just the tow things, tow trailers and stuff. It makes building that set a bit annoying, yeah. That's why I converted it to color. That was the exact reason why I did this. That way I can tell what's going on. And even if you fall into parts that don't exist, you can make your own on there too. That's the cool thing about it. Those supposed to be threes, aren't they? Oh, wait, four is okay. Oh, it shows we don't have anybody in here. What the heck? We know that ain't right. Hair on this thing. It's getting hairy. And the hook. Where's the hook at? And four more right there. Jeez. You can't even use Lego for this because it's a whole different color. Lego doesn't have this color. I looked. If they did, I would just grab it two by two and just throw it in there like this. Okay. Oh. That doesn't go in there very tight, does it? Oh, it is a 3. I have that on there as a 2, as a 4. Couldn't tell. But that's alright. It was just for this. For the sake of doing a full moon always brings out craziness. This weekend has been weird, yeah. Everything's been weird lately. It's already dark there or something? 'Cause yeah, it's still light here. At least for the minute. See, now they decide to use 1x2s. And then 2 1x1s again. It's weird. It's not in the axe. That goes right there in the hook. Then we got the doors. I actually thought I was going to find these on Studio. I thought I was going to have to make these. I didn't know Lego actually still has those doors. And then these, I've seen these before, but I thought they were non-Lego when I saw them. I guess Lego makes these different kind of bracket, but they're not even in the bracket category. You know, that's exactly what they are, just without a stud. Where is it? Oh, there it isn't. Is that one of the 2 again? Two. Maybe 2 again. See, why did they use a 1x4? That's weird. didn't make this as a separate thing, but I remember this part. Where are those? Goes like that. I'm trying to remember how these go. I believe it's like, yeah, like so. Down the side there, behind the. How do I go down behind there when there's studs there? Oh no, it goes on top. Okay, like that. Maybe the reason why they make them so small is that when you lose them, you have to buy another set to get the piece again. I mean, that's how they make their money, is doing that. They hope that you lose the pieces. That's why they make it all small and everything, so they'll get lost. In order to replace it, you'd have to buy a whole nother set again. That's typical dollar store, those kind of things they do. It's 10:34 there. It's only 7:34 here, or 7:39 now. Looks like we're just about done here. Oh yeah, this part's weird. See how that one just goes straight like that? Go straight on there like so. Well, this here, it's got all the other two are really weird. It goes like this, and then the other one goes up. See, the other one's not even an L. That's in there like this other one. It's actually two 1x2s I put in there earlier. Not even done the same way on both sides. Another 1x1. It's only got 23 steps. So yeah, I'm almost done. Well, actually, you know what? That's not what they were supposed to be. I did this in studio too, by accident. It wasn't supposed to be these. Supposed to be these things. But yeah, same mistake. You see, you can see a line right there. Yeah, it's up there. Makes you think it's 2 bricks. It's not. Oh, we almost forgot that one. One more 1x2. I don't see another 1x2 in here. Nope, there's one. That's the last one. We go down, turn it again. We do the mirrors. Looks good. There's the other one. Nice if it was completely tiled off though, or something. Should have all studs. Oh, we got two in the back too. Almost missed that. It's a crazy color. You can't even see it. It would be cool to prove it, but you would have to use other colors. Yeah, I know. Or build the whole thing in Lego. And this color that I have on here isn't even, a lot of the parts weren't even available in that color. I just forced it to use that color just to keep the consistency. Just for the instructions. Well, the back comes off real easy. Just pop the back off. Down below there. They sure don't think about leverage, do they? When we do these things. See how that, yeah, it just popped right off. A lot of these colors I know Lego doesn't make either. What the heck? It's got something printed on here. So I'm going to flip that around. Yeah, they got something printed here. I didn't even see that. It's not for the thing either. There, just like their phone number or whatever. Put that in the inside. Yeah, it kind of hides it. I guess they do. They do tile it off a little bit here. That's good. Did I go too? I didn't go far enough. It goes up one more. Right there. They go right there like that. And then that one weird one you can get goes right there, whatever they call them. We got this. I guess goes right there like that. Well, they were dark. Thought these would be clear, but I guess they're not. Oh, they're clear, but they're clear, transparent black. If you look closely, this is the part where it doesn't actually match up on the instructions. Like that, and we get two of these little dots on each side. Yeah, I'm actually supposed to get all the parts from, well, the smaller lots or whatever from Bricklink. I'm supposed to get two of them tomorrow already for red. Can you believe that? Just last week I ordered them. They're already practically here. Should have two of them tomorrow. Maybe the next day. For red. Like I said, red will probably be here before Fillmore gets here. Lego that has these, but they don't have these in black. Like these ones right here are not. These little things right here are not in black. I know that for a fact. They're in light gray, light bluish gray. Even the thing there is not. I think that's in blue. Yeah, I think they're in blue. And Lego. They don't have any of these in black at all. I know they say 5 on them somewhere. I know they did when I did them earlier. I've just been imagining things or something. Could swear I saw the 5 on those. Okay, so that goes in like that. Oh, and then we got that down the bottom there. Yep. You almost have to know how it goes together, so I just figured you have to assume you have the original instructions, so if you have any questions on it, you just kind of look at the original ones, but at least it stops you from having to go to it every time. And then that turns that way. Okay, so how would that work? Oh, like that, okay. That way. We got that. And this. We used to feel soft on this. And that again. And this. That all goes together there. And this one connects to that again the same way. There's the roll bar. These I wasn't sure how far they go in. I barely put them in there at all. Easier to tell in real life than anything else. With that, you can put them way in there. I'm supposed to snap on these. And come down on that. Yeah, it lines up. It won't line up on that though. That's why I couldn't get. You can see once I go to the real one, you'll see they're not connected. Or that's not fully connected on there. Trying to get everything all pushed down. I pushed it down too much. There. And we flip it over. Get the wheels on there. Yeah, at first I thought these were the round things, but they're not. Don't ask me what the heck they're supposed to be. There's the minifig. I think it looks more like a Jeep without this on it, to tell you the truth. See, if I did Sarge, it would have to be all covered up, and then on the window it would have to be silver, and on the back it would have to be a back window too. This is exactly like Lego though. They're a little bit different. You can buy these separately too at the dollar store. That's what gets me. Yeah, see, they're made differently. There's a ball instead of a, what you call it, and then their head's upside down. It's tight on there, but oh, his head moves. Yeah, their head articulates a little bit. Not very much, but it articulates slightly. It's on a joint. Well, come on, get in there. There we go. Wait, how do you get those things on there? I mean, it looks like the arm wants to break. The connection point there. There it goes. Now it's on there. Come on. Now the arm doesn't want to turn. And the hands. I wasn't going to do this, but I might as well. Well, there, yeah, the hands are different. Slightly. I thought the hands was articulate, but I guess they don't. Jeez. They turn, but that's all they do. And what is that? Is that his pants? I guess it is. Oh, what a pain. We've done this piece first instead of... Yeah, I don't think we can get it off there now. Yeah, that's on there. On the other side. There, now his hat. His hat fell off. His hands look backwards, I'm telling you. Or upside down. A little better. least it stands up. It's a cute little build, huh? I'm gonna see if he'll attach in there. It looks like he's driving. Steering wheel's a little small though, but since he's not a Lego minifig, I'll probably just keep him in there if I do make him a Sarge. He'll be hidden inside. He'll be his brain. Ah! See how the whole back comes off? You press down on it. It's supposed to go down the same way. Just gotta find the stud. You can't find the stud. I think he's supposed to press down on it, I think. Yeah, it looks like the studs are right there. Is it on? Yeah, that's on right there. There we go. Ah, he won't stay. Stupid thing. I need something to push down on it. I can't push down on it. Up here. I can't push down on his feet to get it to go down. Yeah, see? My finger's too big to get down in there. I may have to take it back off just to get to it. Hey, it keeps popping off. The arms keep getting in the way. Yeah, I was able to lay them down now. Kind of. We'll just reattach this. Where that goes. Come on. There we go on both sides. And right there in the center. Here's like it's on there. Yeah. And these go on there. And the clips. I had it on there. I pushed it up a little bit. There. There you go. No, those studs weren't too big. Just getting lined up was a problem because you couldn't see down in there. Goes pretty freely. That one there's dragging. Brick's not straight is why. Well, that one drags too. Back ones don't though. It drags on the edge there. It's a little better now. Digo. Digo Crochet. Hello, my name is Diana. I believe this is my first time on your live. How are you doing? Oh, pretty good. Was talking about that bricks and Minifigs thing going on, but I guess I better bring the mic over here, huh? But yeah, I just thought I'd build a little set that I had, a little non-Lego one. Nobody's really coming in here, so gonna do whatever. Let's put this back up here. There we go. And it's been what now? Oh, 2 hours. Right on the button. So yeah, to go crochet. Make sure you subscribe and like. I do lives every Thursday and Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Same time as today. I've seen you on the other lives. Yeah, Alexandra is everywhere. She lives to be on lives. I'd hate to be spelling that out because it'd be so confused. 49 views. Holy moly. I've been on other lives too. I haven't been lately. I haven't been going much anywhere lately. I mean, I have been for bricks and Minifigs things. I've been kind of looking into it, but it's all pretty much the same thing over and 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 over. I can go all night long. I think I've seen Digo Crochet before. I don't remember that. I remember that name. I think they left. Let's see if I can get one more view, at least. Get it to 50. But yeah, I'm supposed to get all the parts for red. Probably tomorrow, by Wednesday, I'll have them all. I don't know about the big part of it though, which is like 500 of the parts all together in one bag. This is just like the first couple hundred, maybe. By Wednesday. And Fillmore's still stuck there. They're supposed to be here tomorrow. Well, Lego told me that anyway. It will come eventually, yeah. Like I said, I think red will be here before Fillmore parts that I need. I can almost build 2 of them too. I would have to take some parts out of my inventory though. I don't know if I have again. Read the description box and saw you have Fun Seeker, aka Arnie list. Yeah. What happened to Arnie? I saw him on not too long ago. Did something happen to Arnie or something? Oh, he's sick. Okay. Oh, is he sick? I don't know. Make it sound like he's not on anymore. He passed away? Oh my God. Oh God. I don't believe it. What happened? Oh my God. Yeah, I knew Arnie. I'm on Facebook too. Yeah, I'm almost there too myself. Maybe my wife she'll be surprised to hear that he. Oh my God. I haven't seen him in a while. I've seen him on. I saw him on. I saw the thumbnail come up and stuff like that. But was it his health or what? He was. He was. I think he was younger than me, by much. He was in his 50s. Did he have a heart attack or something or what? Or do you know? Not sure what happened. Oh, yeah, I figured it was sudden. Hold on a minute. Maybe we go tell my wife real quick. Should be surprised to hear that. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. She didn't remember him until I explained about because his thumbnail was always a yellow thumbnail with a boat on it, and she's like, "What?" That's all she said. Wow. I mean, I didn't know him like really, really well or anything like that. I talked to him on Facebook and stuff a lot, and he was one of my mods too. I don't. They didn't delete his channel, did they? They probably will after a couple months. It has nothing going on, unless a family member takes it over. That's what I'm afraid about mine. I'm so afraid, it's going to be sudden with me too. I'm already having some health problems already, like dizziness and that, really bad. You know how you feel when you get up fast? I'm like that all the time when I get up. Yeah, this channel's still on? Okay. I like to show her which one I'm talking about. She'll recognize it. I hope it wasn't while he was live or something. Or doing a live or something. But people are falling off like flies right now lately. Our neighbor here, an older lady, she's like in her 70s. And she had a son that passed away right there underneath her feet. And she didn't even know. He was living there with her. He was in his back room, passed away right there. They didn't even know. They came in, they went in there, found him on the floor. Yeah, it was her own son. Just like that. They did an autopsy on him. We found out what it is, but what happened. But yeah, so now she's living alone. So everybody here checks on her once in a while. That's the one that I check on every day, right before my live. In fact, I went over there just before my live started. Her name's Chris. She's about the same age my mom would be now. I think she's 72 or something like that. And she's got two little baby kitties, little gray kitties. They're probably about 8 weeks old now. Maybe 10. They're getting big though. People are what do you call it, dropping like flies lately. So every time I talk about it, it scares the hell out of me. I already told my sisters and my family that I'm going to be next. When my mom passed away, I'm the next one to go. Yep. So I'm the oldest of all the kids. All of our parents are gone. No, even my sisters, they have a different dad than me. He was the first one to go. Then my dad, then my mom, or our mom. And they're 45, I think. I have a brother that's 4 years younger than me. He's 56. And I have another brother that's, let me think, can't remember when he was born. I believe he's probably in his late 40s by now, if not 50. Can't remember. But my sister's the youngest. So if they're 45, he's probably about 47, 48, something like that. Oh, did I lie 3 weeks ago? And it's been that long ago. Holy cow! I thought it was just like last week. Yeah, because I could swear I saw a live come up like last week for him. It was his channel. Maybe he had a schedule or something. And it was just coming up like that. It didn't say it was live, but it said it was because it had the notification thing on it to notify it. I hit notify, but it never came up. It never started. It doesn't seem like that long ago. But I remember a live was supposed to come on, and he didn't show up on it. It never started. That was like a week ago. I was the only one there, but nobody else showed up. Nobody said anything. But I went on and just left because it just did. I waited like 5 minutes and it never started. So I just left. Well, I'm glad you told me. I would wonder where he was that way. I was seeing the lives, wondering why he wasn't coming on. It came as a total shock to me when Lydia posted about his passing on her channel. Oh, yeah, I don't talk to Lydia anymore. Private reasons, personal reasons, kind of. Alexandra knows the reason, but that's who I told you about Alexandra. Alexandra kind of took her place as a mod on here. That's all I'll say about that. Oh, I hit 50. I got 50 views. So yeah, I don't want to cut anybody off, but yeah, it is a surprise to me. But I usually go for 2 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. I'm not just gonna cut it off like that, but I have a little outro and all that stuff, so you guys can say bye and all that. But yeah, so I will see everybody Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And yeah, thanks for letting us know about Arnie. or at least letting me know about Arnie. I don't know if Alexander knew him or not, but and I'm glad somebody told me about him. So I will see everybody Thursday. Hopefully, maybe I'll be doing Fillmore by then. I got all the rest of them up there, but not Fillmore, not Red yet, and not Ramon, or the ones I have instructions for that I made. So talk to y'all then. Bye for now.
Please subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of videos I post. Thanks for watching.